A very critical part about picking your next skateboarding shoe, and not a lot of people talk about this, is considering what materials is your shoe made out of. Knowing this will help you determine whether or not your shoe is going to last you a long time, or if it's just going to crap out and be poop like in a week. My unbreakable shoelace sold out in the first couple hours, so I will be making a lot more of them, as well as black ones this time. And we all want our shoes to last as long as possible. If your skate shoe is made out of canvas or some of this crappy leather, then chances are the shoe's not going to last you a long time. But this is not always necessarily the case. Just because a shoe is made out of bad materials doesn't mean that it's going to not last you a long time. Let me explain. In most cases, any shoe predominantly made out of canvas, yes, is going to break down fast and be a crappy shoe. If a shoe is made out of this leather, then how many layers of leather is it made out of? In this case, it was only made out of one and it broke down very fast. In other cases, like this toe cap on Tony Hawk's the Kai Proto, the leather held up pretty well. But when I'm talking about these two materials, I'm pretty much talking about bottom of the barrel, not super great materials to use for building your shoes to make them durable. The granddaddy big boy material that's going to last you the longest for your skateboarding shoes is suede. Any skate shoe that's made out of suede will most likely last you longer than any other type of material. But just because a shoe is made out of suede doesn't mean that it's automatically going to last you a very long time. Another thing that you need to look at is the placement of the stitches and how many stitches are stitching together your suede. Because if a shoe is just double stitched, then that's better than a single stitch. But if it's triple stitched, then that's way better than a single stitch. And if it's 8-tuples, octa-stitched, I don't know how to say 8 in plural, then that's fantastically better. But in this case, it's just on the toe cap of the Janowski, and it's not really stitching anything together. It's just stitches that are there just to be there. And although they do look cool, I think they did help with durability, but at the same time, maybe not. And also consider where those stitches are placed. If the stitches are in a direct line of fire of where your kickflips are going, then you're gonna break them down a lot quicker. As opposed to a shoe that's just one single piece of suede on the toe cap and no stitches at all. If you have a shoe that's made out of canvas and the placement of the stitches isn't in a good spot, then you have a crappy shoe. Or at least a shoe that's not going to stand up well against your skating. This was a crappy shoe. You want to get double stitching or even better triple stitching, and you definitely don't want to get a shoe that's glued together. That's going to be terrible. You also want to consider if your shoe looks like it was built for a Marine paratrooper that's never going to break down, then chances are neither is the shoe. In other words, if you get a big, solid military grade skateboarding shoe, then chances are it's probably going to last you forever, like this shoe or D3. But one thing to consider is how heavy is the shoe? In this case, this shoe is really light, but it is pretty bulky still. Probably will last you a while. D3, on the other hand, feels like you got 2 cinder blocks on your feet, so it will last you probably forever. I wasn't going to skate them longer than I did, but if you want to skate a big, bulky D3, then you probably could skate it for like a year. But of course, that's only if you're comfortable skating a big, bulky shoe like a D3 or a Silo. But for a lot of people, as well as myself, I like my skate shoes to be slim and be something that I think looks cool, because if I have a shoe that looks cool, then chances are I'll feel good while I'm skating and I'll want to do more tricks. A really cool looking material for your skateboarding shoes, which is kind of a bummer, is canvas. But there is a loophole, and that is the placement of where the suede or the canvas is on your shoes. If a shoe is made out of a combination of canvas and suede, then it could potentially last you a very long time, all depending on the placement of your suede. And the canvas should be almost like an accent material, solely put there just so that it looks cooler. The suede on the shoe should cover the majority of the toe cap, as well as the heel collar, and as much of your heel as possible, because these are your high wear areas. Wait a second. Your high wear areas are not the same as my high wear areas or your friend's high wear areas. Everybody skates differently. So if I skate the same exact shoe as my friends, the way that I do my kickflips is different than the way they do their kickflips. So their shoe is going to be breaking down differently than my shoe. So their high wear areas might be slightly different than my high wear areas. So when you're picking your next skateboarding shoe, Look at the skate shoes you've skated in the past and determine where you're tearing down your shoe the quickest. If you're tearing your shoe more on the toe of the toe cap, then you want to get a shoe where the toe cap has a solid piece of suede on the toe. But if you're someone who tears your shoes and it's more on the side of the shoe, then you're going to want to pay more attention to the stitching and how many stitches and where the stitches are. Because if the stitches are in the exact same place that you're tearing your shoe, then maybe not get that shoe. Maybe get a shoe that has a more solid toe cap that doesn't have any stitches on it. But if you are a heel flip kind of guy, then you definitely want to get a shoe that the heel collar has suede on it. A lot of shoes have suede that go right up to the heel collar, and then it's a different type of material that makes up the heel collar. And that part of your shoe breaks down a lot quicker from heel flips than any other part of your shoe. But a surefire way to make sure that your shoes last a lot longer is to get my shoe drops when they come out. They're in production and will be here soon. So when you're picking your next skateboarding shoe, remember to consider where you mess up your shoes, not where your friend messes up their shoes or their advice on where their shoes get messed up the most. Because it's a very personal thing and it's only determined by where you wear down your shoes. If you wear down your shoes more on the very top of the toe cap, then get a shoe where the whole toe cap is covered in suede. Or maybe your heel collar gets destroyed really fast, in which case, try to get a heel collar that's made out of suede. Either way, get the shoe drops when they come out, and your shoes are gonna last you a lot longer than all of your friends' shoes, and you get to support this channel and help make more dope content. Remember to consider all these things when you're picking your next skateboarding shoe, and especially where you break down your shoes. It's a very personal thing, and it's never one size fits all. Thank you, Matthew, Daniel, Davis, Thomas, Lasek, Kareem, and my 40 plus homie. The homie that's 40 plus is a gnarly guy. He's like, I talked to him a little bit, you're a gnarly guy. They're all the new homies that joined the Patreon. If you want to vote for what shoe's gonna be next, then go join the Patreon link down below. And leave a comment of what shoes you want me to review next. And if you have anything to add to the conversation of making your shoes last longer, then drop it in the comments down below. As well as liking this video for YouTube's algorithm and all that stuff. And make sure to... Look, alright, I don't ask no more, okay? This is the highest quality skateboarding YouTube channel in the galaxy, alright? So just hit the button so you can be here at 2 mil. So you can be the cool guy. Hey, I was there at 55K. Because that's a lot. Thank you guys. Alright, love you, bye. And if you've watched this far, leave a comment saying, wow, this was a lot more informative than I thought it was gonna be. How awesome. I'm sad that I wasn't able to get the shoelace that I wanted to get. I'm very happy that Christian's shoelaces still have not ripped him. I'm also kind of excited to see how the shoe drops hold up. But for now, Christian's still nervous about it because it's still up in the air and not really solid yet. But as a matter of fact, did you read this comment? If you did, leave a like on the comment because that's what we do on YouTube. We ask for likes and stuff. Okay, that's it. I love Jumanji and also cat litter and sometimes Chipotle. But regardless, this comment shows dedication. I'm dedicated. Love you. Bye. And love you for writing that. That's awesome. Okay, bye.